You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities, and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to another incredible episode of Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio, and I am your host, Dini. We have a very special guest for you guys, so you definitely want to stick around for that. And as a matter of fact, text your buddies, family members, or even share it on social media right now and let them know that we are about to dive deep into another interview. Before I bring my guest on, I do want to say, it is indeed the small things. Great things happen when small things are done with purpose, with care, and with some persistence. Few people can make a big positive impact on the first attempt. Anyone can have a small impact, and then another, and then another, and another. The small things do matter because they join together and become big things. Every moment is your opportunity to do the small things that can surely and steadily bring about big results. Those who sit and wait for a big break rarely ever get one and wonder why life has been so cruel and unfair. Those who do what they can, when they can, with what they have, will get precisely where they intended to go. And today is your choice to do what you can. It may seem small, but focus and persistence will, over time, make it into something big, meaningful, lasting, valuable. And value is something that is built, effort upon effort, day after day, moment by moment. So step forward at every opportunity, be willing to do the small things, and you'll be making the big things happen. Take that from me, Coach Dini. That is my word. Are you ready?
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Hey. Again, welcome to the show. You are listening to VRL. That's Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio. And I am your host, Dini. Our interviews are designed to go beyond the music, news, books, art, acting, films, technology, education, entrepreneurship, entertainment, and sometimes even past that thing that we call the ego. Our interviews are designed to go behind the scenes and into the minds of these incredible human beings. The ones who are out there giving it their all for me, for you, and for this world. Well, what's up, family? I'd like to introduce to you an engineer, author, and leadership mentor whose life story is a testament to perseverance, self-discovery, and transformation. As the visionary behind Simon and the Morphic field, Geromin crafts an epic narrative that explores courage, universal salvation, and the power of character. His journey from a small town in Mexico to inspiring the future generations through his stories and mentorship is nothing short of remarkable. So let's welcome Geromin and dive into his world of storytelling and soulful reflection. So please join me in saying welcome, friend, to Geromin Reyes. Hey. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me. That's a great opportunity. I'm very excited to be in your show.
Absolutely, Geromin, and we welcome you. So your life and work blend the fantastical and the deeply personal. Could you share what's been on your heart and mind as you bring Simon and the Morphic field to readers and you inspire this new generation with your message?
Yeah, thank you. Before answer your question, I just want to recognize and congratulate the great work that you're doing with your program and your show. I think you're really creating a legacy of inspiration for the upcoming generation. So congratulations for that.
Thank you, sir.
And regarding your question, so I would like to answer that question, sharing with you and your audience what inspired me to write this book. And I'll start by sharing that my philosophy is that life is a daily adventure that we experience within ourselves. Simon and the Morphic field, along with the upcoming books in the Character series, because it's a series of 7 books, delves into these adventures, exploring all the challenges and romances that unfolds within ourselves in our multidimensional existence, which are the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So the desire to share these beliefs and perspectives with others is what inspired me to write this series. And I really hope readers will find reflections of their own inner journeys in these stories and be inspired to explore their multidimensional selves.
Speaking of reflecting and reflection, which character in your book do you relate to the most?
Yeah, so the way that this story is written is not necessary with the intention to relate with one of the characters. We have a great characters on the book and all that, and people will be able to correlate with that. But the way that the book is structured is so that people can correlate to the story and relate all the story, all the adventures, and everything that happened in the story, that we correlate with what happened inside of each of us every day. So to answer your question, I really correlate with all the stories because it's a reflection of all those adventures and challenges that I face inside myself, and that I need to learn from it to continue growing and be able to be successful in this life.
Indeed. Growing up, I used to read a lot and watch a lot of things, and certain universes, I could find myself a part of the story for some reason, maybe in a third person or, a camera guy somewhere. But did you have these fantastic voyages growing up as well, that you would become a part of a universe that you either read about or saw or just created even in your own mind?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I really love your question. So, I believe that we build our life and experiences as a blocks. So every experience that we're living is kind of building blocks. But what I remember is when I was around 5 years old, one day I decided to collect all the magazines and comics that were around the house, and I put a magazine and comic stand outside my house, and I started my first business over there, selling and renting this magazine and comics. So as I was in front of all these comics and magazines, I start to, sometimes I let my imagination go, and I start to imagine myself into the adventures of some of these magazines. So I think that's where everything starts and start to trigger my imagination and my desire to be part of those amazing stories. And then when I listen my family about a relative that was having some kind of success or a story that they were sharing, then I start to imagine myself to be as well as part of that story, or start to create some storylines on my mind. And then I start to dream that when I grew up, I'll create my own stories and share it with the world. And I think right now I'm at that stage where I'm doing what I imagined 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago.
Definitely. We are living in a time right now where that has, come into fruition. So as you sat down to write Simon and the Morphic field, did you get that same experience, like you became immersed in that universe that you were creating and writing within these stories?
Yeah, actually, the way that I create this first story, it was I start to read all the books that I feel that were related to the message that I want to convey, and also I start to watch movies and series and documentals that were related. And so as I was either reading or listening or watching a movie, I was closing my eyes and imagine that I was part of that story, and that it was not necessarily creating the story but living the story. And then once I go to that process, that's when then I sat down and start to write, not what I imagined that would be the story, but what I just lived as part of the story, if it makes sense.
Indeed. What's one piece of advice your grandfather gave you that you still hold on to?
That's another great question. So I didn't have the opportunity to share much time with my grandfather, but I received a lot of influence from him through his stories, because he was an inventor, and so everybody was talking about all his inventions and everything. So, but I didn't have a direct contact with him, but his legacy to me was more through his stories, or the stories of him. But one day I had the opportunity to spend a few days with him, and I was around 14 years old, that I had the opportunity to spend a few days with him, and I was trying to solve one problem over there at home with one electrodomestic, that it was not working, and I was trying to fix it, but I didn't find the components to fix it. So then my grandfather was around me, and he asked me, and I told him what was my problem and all that, and he told me something that I keep with myself every time that I have a problem. He told me, okay, so when you have a problem and you don't have a clear path to how to answer, just stop, breathe, ask the nature to guide you to find the answer, and then you look around again and you will find the answer. So I did that. I closed my eyes, I breathed, and then I repeat what he told me. And then when I opened my eyes and start to look around, I found some different elements over there that I was able to use to fix my problem. So that was amazing life lesson for me.
Absolutely. One that works. So the battle between ego and character is a major theme in your book. Why do you think this struggle is so universal and important?
Yeah, so this is what I believe. I believe that without polarity, life wouldn't exist. And just as our strength, in the case of the book, is represented by the master soul called Karak and Ter, its counterpart, dark and death, represents the darkest desires of human beings. In other words, the ego trap. So, and also, I think the ego has its own duality because if the ego and the character seek to confront individual with the darkest desires to generate learning and evolution. So even though sometimes we have the tendency to categorize or to label good and bad, I think it's at the end of the day, both favorable situations and unfavorable situations at the end has a very beneficial mission and purpose for us that is helping us to have a lesson learned and have an evolution as a human being.
Mm-hmm. As an author and mentor, how do you view your role in guiding others towards self-discovery and growth?
Could you help me to elaborate a little bit more on the question?
Absolutely. You have a role in helping other people discover themselves and grow towards, goals and dreams, aspirations, purpose, things of that nature. And this book can be seen as a companion or a guide to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you view this role in moving the world forward?
Okay. Yeah, so I think and I believe that we're, as a humans, are just part of the whole, and everything that we do to improve ourselves and help others, it will help the whole universe to be better. And one of those beliefs is the reason that I call this book the Morphic field, Simon and the Morphic field, because what I believe is that all the knowledge and intention and all the information that we generate with our thoughts, emotions, actions, and all that, everything gets accumulated in this kind of an energy cloud, which we are all are unconsciously connected, but some, and we all have access, but some have consciously able to access to this cloud of knowledge. And so what I believe that as we have our evolution as a human beings, we will be able to feed that cloud of energy with better thoughts and better emotions. And so when people access to that, we'll be able to have a more healthier energy. And then with that, we will have a greater evolution as a human beings.
Indeed, indeed. I know I mentioned purpose, how you help people guide them to their purpose and, growing their growth. What is the turning point in Simon's journey where he truly begins to understand his purpose?
Yeah. So the turning portion is when he understands that the that he will achieve his mission not by fixing the circumstances that are around him, but to understand what is happening inside him. When he understands how he feels, where in his body is that he feels what he feels, what are the immediate things that his body and his being need at that moment, and what is the kind of thoughts that all those emotions trigger in him. And then once he understands that and start to resolve all those circumstances that are happening inside him, then is where everything that is outside him will start to resonate in the same level of energy, and then things will take the path that needs to be taken.
Indeed. So looking ahead, what's next? As you promote Simon in the Morphic field.
Yeah, so the second book of the series, My Legacy, is coming up in December. That will be the second book. As I mentioned, the series is 7 books. In each one of the books, the reader will have the opportunity to discover one of the character codes as well as their ego trap. And so second book is coming up, and then next year we'll have third book, and then we'll continue working until we complete the series. And then, of course, I already have plans for the second series.
Nice. Where can our listeners connect with you online and purchase copies of Series 1?
Yeah, so I'm in all major platforms, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Books, Apple Books, and then also they can access my website, gerominreyes.com, and basically all the major platforms.
All right. Listeners, just in case you need those links, no worries. I will have them in the description of this episode and in the show notes. So all you guys have to do is just click those links. I want to say a special thank you to Geromin Reyes for sharing this incredible journey and the profound messages within Simon and the Morphic field. Your passion for storytelling, mentorship, and inspiring others to unlock their potential is truly impactful. So please, guys, join me in saying thank you to Geromin for this enlightening and uplifting conversation. And to all of our listeners, don't forget to subscribe to Geromin and Vigilantes Radio. Leave us a rating. Support the show at buymeacoffee.com/Vigilantes Radio. Share this episode with anyone who loves epic adventures and inspiring stories. And until next time, keep discovering, keep creating, and keep believing in the power of your inner self. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio Live. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab it from either Spreaker.com/Only1Media Group, Spotify, Castbox, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, the app Podcast Addict, or over at our website, which again is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you like to request music or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. That is V as in Victor. And here's my disclaimer: we are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, scratch all of that, because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Just kidding. On behalf of myself, Denny, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, at all social media sites, as well as Spreaker, YouTube. We always follow back. Okay, well, just remember to put yourself into everything that you do and never stop investing in yourself. Peace, love, grilled cheese, and talk with you later.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.